All right, so we are looking at the electrical systems. So already we have set the voltage and then the power demand of electrical fixtures. So for this light, for example, we have to make sure it has a voltage of 240, and I think this is just a comment. Let me check. Okay, yeah. So 12 watt. Okay, so you check the watt of a typical lightning that is going to be used for the building, and you put it in there. So you do that for each of the lights you have. This is 18 VA or 18 watts, and then 240 volts. Okay. Now after that is done, we would add our electrical equipment, which is our distribution board. So we'll go to the Systems tab, electrical, and then the electrical equipment. Let me save my project. All right, so I'm going to place that here. Now, if it is set on place on face, you'll see it like this, like it wants to place on the floor. So make sure you change it to place on vertical face, and then you place it there. So let's check our distribution board. So this distribution board has voltage of 240 and a power of 24,000. What it means is the power being supplied to the house is 24,000. So in fact, it also means that you see this one, the power is 18. So it means all the equipment within the building should not exceed that 24,000 VA, or this building can only be supplied 24,000 VA. Now, if you're not seeing this as 240 volts and 24,000, let me explain. You select the distribution board, you go to Edit Fund, and then here you select the electrical connector, and voltage should be 24,000. And then here we have apparent load on phase 1. So in fact, this is a 3-phase distribution board, but by default, 2 of the phases have been disabled, making it a single phase now. So if you want to turn it to a 3-phase, we change the number of poles here to 3, and then this will be changed to 3-phase. So it means on each phase, we can put a power. Now, the reason why we are putting 24,000 is that the current that comes from the mains is 100 amps. So hence, a voltage of 240 times a current of 100 amps is going to give us 24,000 VA or 24,000 watts. So if it's 3-phase, it means 24,000 on each of the phases. For now, we are doing a 1-phase. Hence, we are doing 24,000 on 1 phase. So you click on Apply, then you close and load this back into your project. So now we need to select what we call a distribution system. So if you select the distribution board, you click on this drop down. You realize that there's actually distribution systems, but it doesn't match the distribution board that we have. So we need to create a distribution system that will match the distribution board that we have. In this case, this single phase distribution board. So let's go ahead and create a distribution system. You go to the Systems tab, Electrical, and then you click on this little arrow down there. The shortcut is also ES, so you can press ES to enable it. Here we have the distribution systems, and these are the 3 distribution systems we have. So we'll create a new distribution system. Then I'll call this single phase system. So this could be just any name. So it's a single phase, 2 wires, and then the voltage is 240. But we can't find 240 in the list. Okay, there is 240. Now, assuming you can't find 240 in the list, what you do is that you come to this voltage definition, and then here you click on Add New. Okay, you put in 240. The value is 240. Minimum 220. Maximum 250. All right. Then now you can have the 240 volt in the list. So we'll go back to distribution system. Then we choose 240 volt for our single phase system. So click on OK. So now let's see. Now if you select our distribution board, we click the drop down. We can now select this single phase system here. All right. So now we have successfully set up our distribution board. So it's time to connect our lights to it. So as we discussed earlier, we are going to start with connecting all the bedroom lights on one circuit to the board. Okay, this particular circuit actually has 12 breakers. All right, 12 breakers, and the mains is 100, as stated earlier. So if you want to change it to 8 or whatever, you can change these values to the number of breakers that you need on that distribution board. Let me see. All right, so this is a typical distribution board. So you can see here, these are the switches. So these are the breakers. All right, so based on for residential, up to 12 is okay, but something can use 8, okay? But using 12, you may end up having some free breakers with no circuits connected, which you connect later. And so this is an example of the breakers that it is referring to. So changing this value would give you control on whether you're setting this to 4, 8, or 12, 24, 32, etc. Breakers. So let's start connecting our lights. So we want to select all the lights in the bedrooms. And so let me do a quick selection here. All right, I'll click on filter just to make sure only lighting fixtures are selected. All right, now we have a little problem. Now, what is the problem? The problem is that you should see here switch and then power. We can see only switch, but power is not appearing here. So let me show you what I mean. If I select any of these single lights, you see that we have power and switch. But because we selected a lot in one, it is likely that one of the equipment, for example, let me see, go this one, for example, it has only switch. There's no power. Now, if you have power, go ahead. Sometimes, if you try to connect an electrical fixture to a distribution board and then you cancel the process, it takes away that power button. And so if you don't see that, this is how you correct it. For this, I see. So if I select this two, for example, you'll see that I will not see the power because one of the fixtures within the selection I've done does not have the power. Hence, if I add another fixture which has the power, is not going to show. So you're going to resolve that too. So to resolve that, we'll go to the systems browser and then we'll go to the electrical side. So this system, I had created two which I had cancelled, hence that issue. So if I select this, you see that this is referred to this one. And there's another one here as well. So what we'll simply do is that we will just right click and delete the system. So by deleting the system now, we don't have any systems existing again. So now we have all the power back. So let's go ahead now and add it again. Let me go to my first floor. All right, so the bedrooms on the first floor, I'll make my selection. So mind you, we are selecting the lights. I'll press Control and then select these ones too. So I'll filter out lighting fixtures and then, okay, so we have a problem again. So one of the lighting devices does not have the power component. So that's going to be another problem, but let's see. Okay. Okay, so now right now troubleshooting will be, let me see, this one has. Okay, and then what I have to do then is I'm going to use another way because I've deleted all my electrical systems. So it could also happen that you select a certain light which doesn't have the electrical connectors. You're going to end up with the same problems. So because I'm troubleshooting now, what I'm going to do is let me start with one of the bedrooms, or let me check these two bedrooms. And then I'll filter out the lightning fixtures. So they all have the power, so I'll do that. So probably the issue is from this side, but I'll connect this, then I'll add the rest later. So with all this selected, or let me quickly see, let me check which light might be the problem. So I'll select the lights here, filter, lightning fixtures. Okay, so let me troubleshoot. Okay, so over here, I see power. So it means that that light will be somewhere here. Here too, I'm seeing power. Let's see. That's interesting. Okay, good. So let's see. So I'm troubleshooting. I want to find the culprit. Okay, so I'm looking for a light which doesn't have power, the power there, but I'm not finding. I'm not finding that. So let me try again. So I'll do my box selection here, then do another box selection. So I see the power is gone, but let's filter and see. So I'm filtering only lightning fixtures, and again we have the issue. All right, let's start with these two bedrooms. So filter lightning fixtures. So whilst all these lightning fixtures have been selected, we'll click here on the power. So we'll click on power, and then we'll click on system here. And then it's asked us, what panel do you want to connect these lights to? So we'll click the drop down and choose the distribution board that we have. So I'll select this one. So now they are connected to it. Now, whilst they are still highlighted, you see that there are some lines here. Okay, that shows a connection from light to light. And so when you click this drop down, you can choose the kind of lines you want. You can choose the arc one or the chamfer. The arc ones are mostly used. If I click on the arc, then it's going to create an arc connection. So here you can see that it created some arcs connecting all the lights together. Then you see this arrow. So this arrow indicates that after pointing all the lights, it is now going into the distribution board. But the distribution board is on the ground floor, hence we can't see it here. But the arrow is pointing in that direction. Now we have, so if you come to electrical here, we can see that we have one circuit. That is circuit number one. If you select it, it highlights the area where the circuit is. Let me quickly work on something because when I select this, I want to see the blue. The linked file is also showing, hence I'm not seeing it properly. So I'll go to my view template just to make that change quickly. So I'll go into the Revit links. Then in the Revit link, I'm going to remove electrical lightning fixtures from it. In fact, let me remove all the lightning stuff. Okay, so now, still. Okay, I think that is it. That is it. Okay. So we have created the circuit here, but the one in this bedroom has not been added. So we can edit that circuit and then we'll add this one. So how do we do that? Very simple. We'll select any of the lights within that circuit. Then we'll go to electrical circuit. Then we'll click on edit circuit. So once we click on edit circuit, you realize that the visible lights, the dark ones are the ones added. So if you come to this bedroom, you realize that these lights are faint. It means they are not added yet. So we can go ahead and add those ones. So do a box selection. But unfortunately, we added all this to the circuit, the switches. So I'll click on remove from circuit so that I can take these switches out. So anyone that is not part, this is a socket, that's a socket, that's a socket. All right. So now only the lights have been added to the circuit. So click on Finish Editing Circuit. So these lights have been added, but it is not showing the wires, okay, that has been added. So the way we fix that is that we press the Tab key, and then you see that it will highlight the circuit. You click, and then you now come and choose the kind of wire that you want. So I'll click on Arc, and then now that will be done. So you see that the connections here now goes to join all these ones, and then this indicates that all of them go into that distribution board, which is downstairs. So if we take a quick look at our distribution board, if you select it and we click on we'll create what we call a panel schedule. Okay, so if you create a panel schedule, we'll click Use Default Template. This is what we'll see. So you see here, the circuit you've created, that is lightning. The trip is 20. We'll talk about trips later. And then the pole is 1. That is a phase. And this is the total power from that particular lightning circuit. So that is 588 VA. Remember, we have about we have about how many? We have 24,000 VA to use up. All right, good. So the total current connected is just 2 amp. So whilst we keep on connecting our electrical circuit, this will keep filling up. So we can move on to the next thing. Okay, so let's say now all the outside lights too also go to one circuit. So on the ground floor, we'll look for the outside lights. So here I see one light here. I press Control, or let me even use, so select all in the entire project. Unless there are other light types, then you have to do Control to select them. So with all this selected, I'll click on Power, and then come to System. So it is already assigned to that distribution board. We'll come to create, and this time I'm going to create a chamfered wire instead of arc, so that you see how that looks. So if I click on chamfered, you see that with a chamfered wire, it goes in a straight line. Right? It doesn't go in arcs, it goes in a straight line. And then we have you can call it a home run. Okay, we have the indication showing that it's going into this distribution board. You can actually also click and drag it and take it closer. Now, if you observe our distribution board, we have a second one added. So we can actually name this, we call this outside light, so that it's easy to be read. Then this one will be first floor bedroom lights. Okay, so using this, kindly connect the others, but we'll look at the sockets next week. So use this to connect all your lights to the distribution board. Thank you. All right, so if you want to do a three-phase distribution board, what to do is that you would edit the family, and then you select the connector, and then you select the number of poles to 3. You make sure each of the phases has 24,000, and then you have 240 volts here. So load this back into the project. Okay, now this is okay. The panel no longer matches the property of the circuit. Disconnect the panel from the circuit. We'll click on disconnect. Okay, because we connected it to a 1-phase. Now we have changed it to a 3-phase. Hence, now we see that there's no distribution system. So to create a distribution system for your 3-phase, you go to the electrical system, shortcut ES, and then we'll click on add new. So we'll call this 3-phase system. So the number of phases is 3. Number of wires 4. So these wires are referring to the number of wires we see on the pole outside. Okay, so you set 240 for each, And now when we select this, we can choose a 3-phase system. So now we can go ahead and connect our lights and equipment to it like we did for the 1-phase. Okay, but assuming it was a mistake, we would have to delete these 2 systems we created earlier. And then we can now go through the process all over again.